Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the REI Network podcast with me, Gavin Timms. Today I have got another special guest joining me, and this is unreal. Okay, this guy, he's young, he's only 19 years old. In the last 6 months, he's gone from 0 followers on social media to over 900,000, okay, which is just insane. So he's going to be talking to us about that. He's going to be talking to us about his mindset, his networking, what he's been doing. So I am going to bring him over right now. Here he is. Leo, how are you, buddy?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I appreciate you joining me. And we talked about doing this. Can you remember when we first met? We met in Key West, an event, the Heroes Coaching event, and we had this conversation. And you were like, "Hey, I'm going to do all these things." And in our industry, right, there's a lot of talk, right? Everyone likes to do a lot of talking and no action. And I was like, "Hey, when you do these things, because I believe you're going to do them, let's get on this podcast and let's talk about it." And guess what? We met again in another event about a week ago, and I see your progress. I see your success over a short period of time, and it's pretty amazing. So that's why we're here today. So, Leo, tell us a little bit about you. What have you been going? How did you start? Give us a background on Leo.
Yeah, thank you again for having me on. This is awesome. And when we first met, the energy was there, and that's why we had our talk. That's why we were able to connect so heavily and reconnect again. So my name is Leo Valentino. I actually turned 19 in 2 months, but I graduated high school a few months ago, around 3 months ago. And I started this whole entrepreneurship journey when I was really young. I started selling stuff on eBay when I was in first grade.
Nice.
Um, so I started selling stuff in my room on eBay. And then the next year, I started selling candies at school. Then I started selling these little toys, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. Um, and then it was really when I started to create communities within this video game that I was playing, and I made my first $1,000 from a community, and I was like, wow, I can really do this at such a young age. So my mindset
Wow.
started to grow really fast when I was really young, and it carried on to me when I started to work out when I was around 16 years old, and that really boosted my mindset as well, right? Being able to push my body, being able to push my mindset to the point of failure every single day. It was really a breakthrough for me. So I'm doing everything I'm doing now because of the financial struggles that my family had.
Right.
And when I was 16, I told myself, okay, I'm going to make all the money I could possibly make so my parents don't have to struggle anymore. So I don't have to struggle. So the people around me don't have to ever struggle. So I looked up online, like, how do I make money at 16? And I went into the world of side hustles, into FIRE movement, like financial independence. And then I found bigger pockets. So I looked up bigger
Nice.
pockets. I researched all that stuff and learned real estate. Long story short, I met a bunch of people in real estate. They taught me a little bit about what they knew. And I read How to Win Friends and Influence People and used that for a whole year to build my networking skills. And I met a guy um, who I trained. I trained his son, personal training,
Yep.
and he brought me over to Key West where we met.
Yep.
And at that event, everything started for me.
Absolutely. So I think there's a few takeaways here already, right? Having a strong why, right? Why are you even doing this? Why are you trying to look on a journey at 16 years old? Because obviously you want to provide for your family in a way maybe that you didn't have growing up, right? So having that strong why, and what was amazing is the mindset. Okay, I see a lot of you in me when I was that young, because there's one thing that you can never take away from anyone, and that's the mind, right? Having the self belief, and there was something about you, when we met, that you had a strong mindset, but you wasn't arrogant. And I always talk about this: self belief and arrogance are two different things. Okay, because most people that are arrogant and the way that they act, is because that's what they want to be. They don't actually believe it, right? But with you, I just felt that you were just humble, honest, and you had the mindset that I was like, this is the guy to watch, right? I don't know. I still feel this. I believe that in several years to come, we're going to have another interview, and it's going to be amazing to see what we talked about today and what we're going to be talking about, because I see you and envision you as an influence on big stages. You know, we talk about Gary Vee, right? We talk about people like Tony Robbins and things like that. And I think you're going to get to them big stages. I genuinely believe that. And I just wanted to point that out to people. And the thing is, when you hit Key West and everything changed, and we're going to come on to that, but you were around the right people, right? You were networking with like-minded people. Not one person in that venue was going to tell you that you couldn't do something that you wanted to do. And I think that's what people need to take away is you're only as good as the five closest people around you, right? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are people bringing you up, or are they putting you down? And everyone needs to analyze themselves. But anyway, I just wanted to point them things out. So you hit Key West, and then what happened?
So Key West happens, and I'm around all these amazing people in the industry, and I get to learn all about what they're doing, about mindset. The whole event was pretty much mindset, right? How it's 98% mindset. And I got to hang around some people who are now some of my closest friends, right? Some people that I'm working with now, some people I'm spending time with on a week-to-week basis, you know, where I'm calling them up. But these are people that I looked up to maybe a year ago or maybe 2 years ago, where I found them on Instagram or I found them on social media, and I watched their content, and I was like, I wish I could meet these people one day. And it just so happens a year later, they're some of my closest friends. And I like what you said about you're the average of the five people you hang around, because it's so true. And what I did is I heard that, I don't know who created that term. Maybe it was Jim Rohn. But I stopped hanging out with all of my high school friends, not because I didn't like them, but because I knew that in order for me to grow, I need to be around a new environment of people who want growth. So I completely left. So after Key West, I graduated high school, and a month later, I moved out here to Scottsdale, Arizona, because I know there's a lot of real estate investors here. A lot of people in the game are here. So I came out here to work with one of my coaches, Corey Geary. And the only people I hung around with are people in the space that I was trying to get into, but also people that believed in me and understood the mindset of a winner and the mindset that I was trying to tap into. So surrounding myself around these people, it really carved in the mentality of a winner and the mentality of being humble, because everyone around me is so humble. Everyone around me is so level-headed, and there's no cockiness, there's no arrogance. So I kind of grew into that. Just like if your parents are some type of way, you kind of grow into that. The people around me were super level-headed. So from there, after Key West, I built a connection with Ricardo Rosales, a big
I know Ricardo well. Great guy.
He flew me out to Houston to go to his event. So then I used the same mentality, the same tactics of how to win friends and influence people, and connected with everyone in the room and built a lot of great connections there. And then from there, I was brought to Arizona for another event, for the All In event. And I did the same thing, connected with everyone, made sure everyone knew who Leo Valentino was. And at that third event, already people were taking pictures with me, and they knew me from my social media, which we'll tap into our next conversation.
And I'd seen you. This is the crazy thing, is that I've seen you in Key West. I've seen you at the All In event. All right. I've seen you at the family reunion last week. I've seen you in Arizona for Pace and Jamil's launch. Right. So literally the 5 events. And Ricardo, the only reason I wasn't at his is because I already had something double booked. But that's what this thing is like, right? When you're around these like-minded people, everyone become friends, right? You're on now a new level. So I just wanted to point that out, that out of them 5 things, I was at 4 of them with you. right? So anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, and I was scared for a minute because I was told like, oh, there's people who just go to events and they never really get anything done. And I was like, I don't want to be one of those people. I keep showing up to these events. What have I done? I haven't really done a whole lot yet. I've only got my first deal, blah blah blah, and I just keep traveling. And I remember I took a break from traveling and just sat down and hustled here in Arizona, and it was pretty much one of the hardest points because I was so lost, so confused with everything, and I felt so alone as well because it's my first time away from my mom, my dad, my sister, my girlfriend back at home, and I felt super lost. So I told myself, okay, I'm going to go back to San Francisco where I'm from for 2 days and just to take a break and gain some clarity.
Yep.
So I take my car, I'm driving, I go to LA first to visit my sister, and then I head over to San Francisco. In the middle of my drive in Bakersfield, which is about 4 hours from home, my engine blows up. So I pull
Wow.
over to the side and I'm just like, okay, this is a sign. I don't know what it is. This is a sign. So I stayed really positive. I had my speaker and I had golf clubs. So I turned the speaker on, played some of my favorite music. I listen to very happy music because it always keeps me in a good mood. But I played the music and I grabbed my golf clubs and I just started golfing on the side of the road.
As
And
you do, as you do.
yeah, and I stayed very positive. I think this is a good lesson, which I'll go into. I didn't even care about the car at the point. I called the tow truck, or I called a buddy who called the tow truck for me because I don't have AAA. They towed it away to a shop. They basically told me your engine's busted. You're probably gonna have to pay $7,000. And I was already so positive in a loop of positivity where I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't have $7,000, but I will figure it out. So I took a $50 train back home and went to my girlfriend's house. And the next day I go to my mom and it hits me like, damn, I don't have a car. Like, damn, I don't have $7,000 either. And I'm just in my mom's arms. I'm telling her like, oh, nothing's going my way. Like I'm tired. Like, what am I doing? And the doubt starts coming back,
Yep.
and my mom just goes like, hey, you got to understand that everything happens for a reason and not everything's going to be built overnight. Right.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny because that night or that day, I posted a TikTok about motivate. It was a motivational TikTok because when I feel bad or when I feel doubtful, I like to share positivity out because it helps
Yep.
me. So I did that.
Yep.
And that night, I checked my phone and that video was at 200,000 views.
Wow.
And mind you, my average views was like 100, 200, maybe 300 at most. And at 300, I thought I was famous. Like, oh, 300 people saw my video. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But it hit 200,000 views that night. So I went to sleep and the next morning I was at 1 million views and 20,000 followers.
Wow.
So
Incredible.
I went from 100 to 20,000 that same night. And I go back to my mom and this is the funny part. I was like, hey, look what happened overnight. You were right about one thing, but so
That's
that
awesome.
was really cool.
And then from that, obviously, you then just, well, let's come on to that. I want to pick up on something else though here that may help you as well. Is that you are surrounding yourself again with the right people. You go to these events, and we're all in our own right successful, okay, in what we do, and success, there's always levels to it, and success is whatever you interpret it to be. Okay, so you can't ever look at someone else and go, well, I want to be like that or that, because you're on your own journey, right? But you also understand that we've all been in the business a long time, okay? And you're seeing us at kind of not the peak, but we're up there. We're always trying to level up, and you're coming in. So we've all been there. We've all been in the grind, right? So you're not the only one that is there. I sat there for 10, 12 hours a day pounding the phone with sellers with no deals, no deals, no deals, no deals. No one sees that, right? I talk about it, but now it's a lot easier to find a deal. But back then, I mean, and I had people coming home in the household going, "Oh, when are you going to go? When are you going to have to go and get a job? Like, I thought you were going to do this, and I thought you would have done a deal right now." And you have to rechannel that right into a positive way, right? The negativity that I had was the one that fueled me to get there. So I don't want you to feel that you're not getting that traction. You're still in year one, right? I mean, we're talking 6, 7 months. I mean, this is nothing. Where you're like 1,000 times ahead in 6, 7 months to what I was, right? So you want to keep going, and I understand. I mean, I left it. I wasn't 19, but 23. I moved to another country, not another state, another country. I left England, came out to the United States. That's why I say I can resonate with the move with you. So you just gotta, just stay in there and do you, be you, do your thing. And I just wanted to point that out to people listening to us, because people are going to be in this same headspace that you were in. So jump back in. So you wake up, you got 20,000 followers. Then what happens?
So I'm just kind of pondering it, looking at all the comments, and all the comments are basically saying like, this helped me so much. This made my day. This was all I needed. This came at the perfect time. And I check my DMs, and I have 2 or 3 people saying, I didn't commit suicide because I saw your video.
Wow.
Right. And that was the shift for me. Like, okay, I can really make a huge difference in the world just by posting videos, just by sharing my message out there. So that day I made 3 more. So I made 3 more of those videos. I put them up. The next one I put up hit 600,000 views. Then the next one I put up hit 1 million that same day. But it went from 1 million to 2 million to 3 million, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 40 million views, which is one of the top probably 100, 200 viewed videos on TikTok now. And
Incredible.
that set me up for success on TikTok, because I went probably from 0 to 100,000, then to 200,000, then 300,000 was even faster. And now it just kept cycling. I kept redoing the same type of content, making the same motivational content with the intent to inspire. And now I'm almost at 1 million followers. And it's just been an incredible ride, because now I'm able to teach people how I did the same thing, teach people in my sphere of the network that I built. For example, the real estate influencers, I'm able to teach them how to put their message out there.
Love it.
So
Love it.
that's where it's at right now.
So here's a good thing, right? You started on a journey of being a real estate investor, right? And I'm not saying you're not doing that anymore, but you've now carved a path that you didn't even know, and it shaped in a certain way, right? And again, without going back, I have the same stories that you set up on a vision of this, and then all of a sudden something else happens, an opportunity comes, and you take it with both hands, and now you're finding your purpose of impact. I watch some of your stuff. It's great. It's fantastic, because I understand the point of mindset. Right, I used to be a golf professional. You talked about golf. What is it? What's the difference? What's the difference between me and the rest, or me and other people? Why are they better? Because a lot of the time, yes, technically they're better, obviously, but it's between here to the difference between being Tiger Woods and just being on tour. It's the difference between being a winner, being the best, being a LeBron James, being Tiger, being these top out Tom Brady. What is the difference? They can all do it. A quarterback can still throw the ball. They can still find the man, but can they do it in the last throw of the game when all the pressure's on? Because that's when the mindset kicks in to actually be the best. So I think that's great. So since you've done that, obviously now, so what is your routine now? Are you still doing the real estate, or are you really just focusing on the influence and on the mindset and again, helping other people do that?
So right now I'm focused on the branding side. So here's something that I think will help some people. Is when I was in the wholesale business, when I was doing the wholesaling business, I came to a point where whenever I stepped into the office, I would get a really stabbing gut feeling. I don't know, like right next to my stomach. And I asked myself, like, what is this? And I stepped out and I felt better. I talked to some friends, I talked to some mentors. And every time I stepped back in, or I got a call from a seller, the stabbing feeling would come back. And I called one of my main mentors, and he told me like that's something you just have to push through. It's a barrier that it's a lesson that if you don't solve now, it'll come back to you later. Um, so I tried to really get through it, and it was this one conversation that made me realize what I wanted to do, or to make that shift. And it was my coach and another person I really look up to. They both had ulcers. And I looked up what an ulcer is, and it was the same exact spot that I was having the pain. And it's basically when that thing like pops because of stress.
Yeah.
And that just, I was like, nope, not doing that. Um, and it's the two people I really looked up to. Like I wanted to be in their space about 6 months ago when I started.
Yeah.
But then I asked myself, because I've been around them and they're good friends of mine now, like, do I want to be in the same position as they are as a CEO of a high volume wholesaling business? And the answer was no. So that's when I made the shift to go full on personal branding, influence, motivational speaking, and trying to find out the path within this aspect, going towards a Tony Robbins route as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's good. At least you found out, right? I mean, our industry's tough, and it ain't for everybody. You know what we do, acquiring properties, right? You're having a lot of conversations. You're having tough conversations. You're renegotiating. You're dealing with people's problems, and all of them things. But you don't know until you do it. And if it's not for you, and you found a different path, then great. And obviously, what you're doing, and people resonate with you, and you know they listen to your message, and you've been able to. Again, it's pretty incredible. You know, one video has taken you, that first 20,000 overnight has now multiplied and multiplied and multiplied. You know, to do great. And I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know TikTok, but I know YouTube, and I know, and it's difficult. It's difficult. You have to just be consistent. You have to show up. I mean, we were out the other day, and I was watching you. I was at this event with you the other day, and you've got your phone out, and you're TikToking, you're videoing, you're getting pictures and doing all this, and I look at that and go, I can't do that. That's not me. I'm not. That isn't me. Now, if I had someone following me, yeah, maybe. But I mean, you were hustling, you're doing it yourself, and it was impressive to watch. But I learn from that and go, yeah, I want an influence. Yes, I want to be out there, but I have to be me. And right now, it's not me to be walking around and taking pictures of food and then doing this and doing different angles and the stuff that you were doing. I just couldn't do it. It's just not my personality. Does that make sense?
Right.
You know, but yeah, go on.
And it's a deep dive within yourself, and asking yourself, is this something I want to do? Is this something I vibe with? Is this something I align with? And with wholesaling, I truly didn't align with that, and I felt so out of alignment, right? And I listened to a podcast where it says, if you feel the feeling that I had going into the office, and you feel the energy taking away from you, didn't sound meant for you. But for example, with personal branding and helping people brand themselves, or on the other side, being able to motivate millions of people, that gives me energy, and that just shows that that's what you're meant to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I love that. So, where are you now then? Are you going to be staying in Phoenix? Are you going to be Scottsdale? Are you going back home to San Fran? What's the vibe?
Yeah, right now that's up in the air. I'm in Arizona now. I'm going to go back to San Francisco for a bit, and then I might move in with some of my entrepreneur friends and just get a house and make content together there. It's up in the air. I like traveling. I like being spontaneous, being everywhere. So I mean, I don't have kids. I don't have a wife yet, so I don't need to be in one place.
For sure. No. Yeah, you're in no rush there. So, is this going to be happening in California though? Are you thinking like an LA move? I mean, we just hung out with a load of YouTubers, right? And I think most of them were living in LA, and they've got 4 or 5 million followers on different platforms. Some more than that, 10 million. Is that something that you're thinking of, LA, or not?
It's a possibility. My sister's out there. But it's super up in the air. We might go to Vegas and rent a house there. because I meet with 3 of my buddies every single morning at 5 a.m. So I'm thinking about having us in a house, just have that be home base for a little bit. Bring my dog
Right.
over there, you know.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, good. Well, good. So, anyone watching, let's as we wrap this up, anyone watching us or listening to you, what's something from a mindset? What would be something? Someone struggling, someone, whether it be life, whether it be real estate, what would you tell them?
The main thing I tell people who need help with their mindset is to really get clear on where you are right now and get clear on where you want to go. Kind of like putting in a GPS, like your Apple Maps, your Google Maps can't tell you where to go if one, that doesn't know your location, but two, doesn't know your destination of where you're trying to go. So you need to get really clear on those two things, point A and point B, so you can get a clear path on what
Love that.
direction you're going. So that's what I would tell people, and really focus in on your self-development. Even if you think you are completely developed, your mind's developed, there's always more growth, and it's always constant and never ending improvement. So just focus on your self-development and know where you are and where you're going.
Love that. Love that. So, Leo, where can people follow you? Where can they search if they want to look you up? Um, where can they do that?
You can find me on Instagram. It's going to be at coach.chun, coach.chun. And then TikTok is my name, Leo Valentino 444.
Leo Valentino 444. Awesome. Well, guys, check out Leo on them platforms. See what he's up to. See what he's doing. And this is a great opportunity as well to, maybe if you're listening to this and you're not in this, you're not in the position where you might be in a good mindset. Maybe you have a son, a daughter, family members, friends. This is the person that they need to start following. Especially, he does resonate with younger people, which is huge, because they're the ones that need to get in the right frame of mind, right, to be able to achieve great things as well as older people. So make sure that you're saying, hey, you should check this guy out, because you will. He is legit, and he does get you in a positive mood for the day, which is what it's all about. So just before we go, Leo, anything else? Anything else you want to share?
No, just thank you for having me on. We always, these type of conversations give us energy. And I try to make a habit every day to make a conversation like this every single day, because it gives me so much energy.
Yeah. No, I love it. I appreciate you, Bird. Well, look, good luck with everything. If you need anything from me, you know where I'm at. And we'll do a follow-up with you in another few months, kind of see where you've landed, what you're doing, and we'll kind of follow your journey. All right?
Absolutely. Thanks for having
I
me on.
appreciate you. Thank you. Bye-bye.